Andhra Pradesh, Sri Seshibhushanji, and the person who is single-handedly hosting this entire thing, Sri Nitin Kadeji, Joint Secretary, Watershed, and on the ground, boot work is being done by our people, Sri Krishna Teja, Commissioner, Rural Development, and our collector, Sri Tamim Ansari ji, district collector, and Shanmugh ji, who has been working, I think, day and night to show you what we are doing for tomorrow, and Sri C.P. Reddy ji, and Sri S.K. Mohan ji, and well-respected Padma Shri awardees, Sri Shyam Sundar Paliwal ji, and Sri Umashankar Pandey ji, and all the accomplished officers who have come from far to my own constituency, Guntur. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all of you. It's a proud moment to host this conference in my own constituency in Guntur. This is actually a third rural development related national conference that's being held in Guntur area, especially in Andhra Pradesh. The reason we wanted to do these things in Guntur or in Andhra Pradesh is actually to support the government of India. If you look at Modi ji, he has been working tirelessly hard, coming up with excellent schemes that uplift our entire country and make it to Viksit Bharat. But the implementation of those schemes is what matters at the end, and that is what going to change it. So, under our visionary Chief Minister Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu Garu and our Rural Development Minister Sri Pawan Kalyan Garu, with all of us being here, we wanted to be the role model to take these things forward, so that at least whatever we could contribute to the nation building will come from Andhra Pradesh. That's the reason why we take these things so seriously. And if you look at it, all our department people, rural development people here, from secretary to everybody, director level, for the last, we only gave 15 days to create this entire pond beautifully to showcase our vision. They have been working extremely hard to show what our vision to the rest of the India, and hopefully it could be a landmark event in the Watershed program. So that's one thing in the outside. And then if you look at it, the Watershed, Manoj Joshi ji was right. A lot of people, for example, he himself is an exceptional officer. I know about his story and all that stuff. But all the good work that they do may not translate into the public perception, which is an injustice for the people who are genuine, hardworking, and want to really contribute to the India's development. So, how can we do that? This is the reason why we came up with all these ideas and how we want to take it forward. But if you look at India's story, it has always been written with monsoon ink. Our prosperity rises with rain and falls when it fails. And 3/4 of our annual rainfall comes between July and September, just in 4 months. So we are uniquely dependent on how we capture, store, and use every drop of water that comes. And if you look at it, the data of India, water is getting tighter. An average annual per capita water availability is estimated should be at least more than 1700 cubic meters. If it is less than 1700 cubic meter, the place is considered water stressed. So according to 2021 estimates, our per capita is 1486, approximately 1500. So already 4 years ago, we were started to be under water stress region already. And by 2031, it is estimated to be 1367. So it's going to go down even further. And if you look at it, 4% of the world's renewable, only 4% of the world's renewable water is available in India. However, we cater to 18% of the world's population. You see the difference. This is why in 2016, when drought hit, it hit almost 330 million people, that is 33 crore people. So the cost of inaction is huge. It worsens floods and drought in the dry area, accelerates soil erosion, saps farmer incomes, all this stuff, and triggers urban water crisis. So understanding these problems, our Honorable Visionary Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has made this water security as a national security and recognized this and came up with all these wonderful schemes. And if you look at the watershed management, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanchay Yojana 1.0, obviously we have, wherever we could do effectively, the results are obvious. And whatever the investment we did through the government, it created at least 6 times production, close to 20,000 crores of output. Farmers' income has risen 70% in those areas. Milk production has increased almost 40%. The number of crops farmers sow is 3 times. It used to be only 1 crop, now 2 or 3 they are doing. The groundwater level has increased more than 3 meters. So these are all the obvious results that we could see in these areas. And since the watershed 1.0 was successful, the 2.0 was extended from 21 to 26. We invested almost 13,000 crores, both central and state share, resulted in 1,200 projects on the ground, covering 50 lakh hectares of the land area. And to involve the people into these programs, last year under our Honorable Cabinet Minister Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji, we unveiled Jan Bhagidari Yatra so that it can, village with the vans and the awareness goes to the villages, and it covered almost 8.5 lakh farmers. And so these are the things, obviously, wherever they have done effectively, it worked. So when communities lead, change follows. This has been shown. And why certain things, even though we have been doing good in certain areas, why these things are not taking off? We all have to introspect. Obviously, there are so many reasons. For example, at least, me, I usually, I built a business, so I understand why certain things really don't work and why certain things take off. So there are several reasons, right? Government departments work in silos rather than integrated work. So that silos, how can we solve those silo problems, right? Land department is different, water department is different, agriculture department is different. So this is where brainstorming need to come. Can we create, at least on a prioritized basis, cross-functional teams? There are somebody, 2 or 3 people, their entire goal is to coordinate and get things done. That could be something our rural development people can do. And also convergence. Schemes with convergence often make, cause delays. So that's another area. So when you want to really converge, that means you are working with multiple departments, it's going to be delayed. How can we do convergence in a systematic manner that can prevent these bottlenecks rather than not thinking through those things? And then there are delays in coming up with these DPRs, detailed project reports. So what are the mechanisms? Are there already people who have been experienced in creating these DPRs, engaging them in a systematically statewide? And awareness, and this is where hopefully tomorrow's program might be helpful. Most people cannot visualize the benefits of these projects. They are happening remotely to certain areas. The effects are long term. They cannot see those things. And they consider these as a temporary labor schemes rather than a long-term resource enhancement. How can we do that? And then, even when we do in certain areas, the other problem is maintenance. We spend money and in the long run, they don't get well maintained. That's because whatever the government structures we create, watershed user associations, Gram Panchayat, they have to be really thought through. How can they be made accountable to get these projects maintained? And probably another most important thing is funding ratio, 60-40. Central always has somehow gets the money, but the state, when it comes to states, certain states have issues, certain states do better. For example, in my own Andhra Pradesh, last 5 years, nothing, not nothing, quite a bit was not done. Then we came back, we cleaned up all of that. Now we are coming up with the funding of that 40%. So we're able to move some things forward. And if you look at our own state, we're building a beautiful new Amaravati capital where these watershed kind of projects, ponds are actually being pre-built, thought through those things. So I agree, it comes with the right leadership to understand these kind of things. But in any way, now we are working on the 3.0. I think this is where, what I believe, the reason people are not participating because they cannot see, it's far from them. But if we can come up with a strategy, prioritized strategy, identify all the villages that have more than 10,000 people. I looked at it, there are coming around 5,000 villages. And if you look at more than 5,000 population villages, they're coming around 20,000. So together, they're probably around 20 to 25,000 villages. If you can create these water bodies where the villagers can use day to day, that is what tomorrow they're going to be a walking track, there will be a children's play area, there will be an open gym for people, and there are automated solar lights, there is an open auditorium. All of these we were able to do under 1 to 1.2 crores. This is something, if the states can come up with, the central can come up with some scheme, and these ponds have to be close to the village habitations. So they can see this and they can maintain it even if you invest. And these, obviously you cannot do these alone because you want to promote in the drought areas. So how can we link, if a state does a good job in those drought prone watershed areas, maybe 1 to 2, 1 to 3. If you do one of that, maybe 3 can be given to these. So this kind of prioritized strategy, and obviously linking with some convergence with Manrega, might be valuable, and hopefully that can give a lot of visibility. I can see the visibility right now. Joshiji, we created this water body within last 10 days, right? I went there a couple times, we presented, we put it in social media. I am happy to tell you more than 250,000 people in Telugu states have visited just this project. And there are people are so happy. This is what we need, kind of thing. So obviously, whenever we do the things that people want, you will get the visibility. So that's my sincere suggestion for all your hard work and everything. If there is a way we can take this forward to these 20-25,000 every year, maybe 5,000, it wouldn't cost us much. We can, per acre, based on this model, this is a 20-acre pond, but not all villages have 20 acre. They probably have 5 acre, 10 acre. So we can come to a rough estimation of to do a similar model per acre, and then we can put it into the projects and hopefully can take care of those things. So with all so my suggestion would be, obviously this is just one brain thinking like that, but many of you have been in the on the ground and have been working quite hard. You know the practical realities other than what I know. So we are hopeful you give very valuable suggestions to our department people, and union government is ready with funding, with technology and policy flexibility. Anything you want, if it makes sense, we're happy to help you. And you all must lead with convergence, community engagement, and a deep commitment, so that whatever the problems that I have mentioned about where we are going, how we are in terms of water stress nation, we can solve it. So with that said, I want you to think these are not watershed, they are not check dams, okay? I want you to understand These are like rebuilding the ecological foundation of rural India. And it is about creating certainty in an uncertain climate. It is about converting rainwater from liability to an asset. I hope we all can work together to make India from a water-stressed nation to a water-secure nation. Once again, I wanted to thank you all for flying from different places, coming here. I hope you get to enjoy Guntur food. Tomorrow we will see and we'll have a big outside gathering. And I wish you pleasant time in Guntur. Once again, thank you so much for everybody who is involved in making this program successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the visionary insights. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick 15 minutes tea break and come back for our next session, which is review of WDC PMKSY 2.0 projects implementation in states and union territories. So I'll see you back in the next 15 minutes. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
మా ఈరోజు వాటర్షెడ్ నేషనల్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ని గుంటూరు ప్రాంతానికి తీసుకొచ్చాం. ఇప్పటి వరకు మీరు చూస్తే మా రూరల్ డెవలప్మెంట్లో జరిగినటువంటి ప్రతి మేజర్ నేషనల్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ కూడా గుంటూరులోనే జరిగింది. దీనికి ప్రధాన ఉద్దేశం ఏంటంటే ప్రధానమంత్రి మోదీ గారు చాలా డబ్బు ఖర్చు పెట్టి మంచి మంచి స్కీమ్స్ని డిజైన్ చేశారు. అయితే అవి స్టేట్స్లో ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసే విధానాన్ని బట్టి ఆ స్కీమ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా ప్రజలకు అందుతాయి. గౌరవ ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు నారా చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు గారు కానీ అదేవిధంగా పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ గారి నేతృత్వంలో ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ మోదీ గారు ప్రవేశపెట్టింది ఏదైనా సరే మోడల్గా తీసుకొని మేము ఇవి చేసి చూపిస్తాము, ఈ భారతదేశ నిర్మాణంలో ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ఒక ముఖ్యమైన పాత్ర పోషిస్తుంది అనే చెప్పే ఉద్దేశంతోనే ఇట్లాంటివన్నీ కూడా తీసుకొని మేము చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. ఎందుకంటే 10-15 రోజులు ఇది ఇక్కడ చేద్దామని డిసైడ్ అయిన తర్వాత 15-20 రోజుల్లో ఒక బ్యూటిఫుల్గా మోడల్ పాండ్ చేయటం కానీ, వీళ్ళందరికీ సౌకర్యాలు చేయటం కానీ, ఇవన్నీ చాలా శ్రమతోనూ డబ్బుతోనూ కూడుకున్నటువంటి పరిస్థితి. అయితే మా డిపార్ట్మెంట్ అధికారులు అందరూ కానీ అదేవిధంగా డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్ కూడా ఇంత కష్టపడి ఇవన్నీ చేస్తున్న దానికి కారణం ఈ భారతదేశ నిర్మాణంలో ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ముఖ్యంగా గుంటూరు ప్రాంతం భాగం అవ్వాలనేది మా ముఖ్య ఉద్దేశం. అందరూ హ్యాపీగా ఉన్నారు. రేపు మనం పాండ్ అదంతా రేపటి క్లియర్ అయిపోతుంది. రేపు వెళ్ళి రేపు బహిరంగ సభలో మళ్ళీ ఇదే ఇంకోసారి మాట్లాడతాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Whatever the schemes that the union government devise, states have the equal responsibility to implement them effectively. So, under the leadership of our visionary Chief Minister, Sri Nara Chandra Naidu garu, we want to take all of those as pilot projects. We want to be the pilot state for anything that they want and show them how an effective implementation can reap the benefits. Therefore, the entire state, including especially Guntur, we want to be part of Vikasit Bharat process. So therefore, all our officers have taken so much time, effort to organize these things in a short period of notice. So therefore, I thank them. But this is our intentional effort to make India a successful and a wealthy, prosperous country in the next coming years. Thank you.
What's your strategy, sir? How you are able to achieve all these things? Because this is the third time I think the national seminar is happening in Guntur. So how you are able to do that?
So again, it's a proactive nature of our entire state machinery under our Honorable Chief Minister, sir. We are all willing to put extra work, effort, and our people are ready to do that work. And it's just a culture change. It is about inspiring leadership. It is about we want to lead that mentality. So obviously my union government officials are very good, and they also know wherever the work gets done, it is their priority as well. So if somebody is well receptive, obviously there will be a win-win for everybody. Thank you so much.